You're Ronald Umanzor.
Yes.
You speak English?
Yes.
So you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 20th, 2025, an officer observed the defendant's vehicle in the street and observed the defendant talking to prostitutes on the street in or around the 3700 block of Tidwell Road. The officer followed the defendant's vehicle into a nearby motel and they were almost struck head on by the defendant. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle and observed the strong odor of alcohol upon his breath. The defendant refused to answer questions without a lawyer present. The officer observed the strong odor of alcohol upon his breath, slurred speech, and bright glassy eyes. SFSTs were conducted 6 out of 6 on the HDN, and the defendant refused the walk and turn in one leg stand. The defendant refused to provide a breast specimen.
That's not how I read the offense report. I read that after he almost struck them, they then followed him, and then he came to a complete stop in the roadway, and then they stopped him. So I don't see any traffic violation,
So-
I'm looking at the DICS side, Judge.
Okay.
And that's for me, it's a distinction from what was read to what.
It says, they viewed the defendant, speaking to prostitutes on the street and around the 700th block of Tidwell Road.
Talking to people.
Officer stated, sorry, Judge. Yeah, thank you. I'm just reading. Yeah. Officer stated that they followed the defendant's vehicle into a nearby motel and they were almost struck head on by the defendant's vehicle as it exited the motel parking area. The officer then stated that they have activated their emergency lights in the patrol vehicle and got behind the defendant's vehicle.
Did they let him drive a little bit and then pull him over, or was it?
Yeah, he got into my understanding, he got into the roadway and then he came to a stop and then they stopped him. So I don't see any traffic violation. I don't see any crime being committed.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, perhaps there were. She's saying that he almost hit them, right? And maybe he went out a little bit more and then sees them, and I don't know.
No, yeah, they're asking you to
Saying that
assume.
hits them, so
Yeah.
at that point they pull him over. I mean, go get the video, go get body cam.
Sure.
You see something different,
Sure.
always. I do think that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case, Mr. Umanzor. Can you run his license, please?
Yes. His driver's license is eligible, Your Honor.
I am now placing a restriction on your license, Mr. Umanzor. You are not allowed to drive any vehicle that's not equipped with an ignition interlock on it. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. No, sir, Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, you are not to drive any vehicle unless it has an ignition interlock. I'm sending notice to DPS in Austin so that every single officer in this state knows if you're driving a vehicle that doesn't have a blow and go in it, they're going to arrest you and put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking much. All I want my streets to be safe, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect it. If you've got a great lawyer here, listen to Herman. He'll take care of you. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but you must stay in touch with him. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you've gone AWOL, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. For now, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you get with pre-trial for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to
I
go.
think you already had the interlock and everything previously. And it's the agency. Okay,
All
great.
right.
Mr. Robinson. Right here, Mr. Robinson.
Palabra.
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
I'm bringing you out now because I have great concern with your cases and the way that your bonds were set at this time. It appears that in September of last year, you pick up a felony assault of a public servant and an evading arrest. A couple months later, an aggravated sexual assault. And I'm assuming he's out on bond for all this stuff, and now he's picked up another case. You now stand charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 17th, 2025, at approximately 2:46 p.m., officers were dispatched to 3099 NASA Parkway, Houston, Harris County, Texas, for an intoxicated male who had fallen off his bicycle and dropped his firearm onto the ground. Upon arrival, the officer observed other officers detaining the defendant and transferred custody to the affiant. The officer spoke to the witnesses, who stated they observed the defendant in an intoxicated state, walking along the sidewalk and stumble onto the ground, and they observed a semi-automatic firearm fall out of the front pocket of the defendant's hoodie. Witness 1 retrieved the firearm from the defendant and handed it to witness 2. Witnesses then held the defendant until police arrived. The officer attempted to question the defendant, but the defendant was unable to provide the officer with information as to why he was in possession of the firearm due to his intoxicated state. And the defendant was identified via his U.S. residency card.
Does he have an ice wall? Do you know? Mr. Cook, I'm going to find that there's sufficient
Yes,
probable cause to go forward with your case.
He does have an ice cold, Judge.
Did you have anything you wanted?
Your Honor, I'd also like to add that a condition of his felony bond was to not possess a firearm. So it's a BPO.
I think Mr. Cook, they've given you chance after chance for you to remain out on bond. And I find by clear and convincing evidence that you refuse to comply with bond conditions. There are no non-financial conditions that we can do that will enable you to comply. As a result, I'm now going to revoke your bonds and I'm going to set them all at $10,004. Because of the actions now, I think that
He does have an ice cold.
you now have an immigration detainer. So, do you know anything that's going to happen with that by chance? You know? Okay. So I don't know if you're going to get out. If you get out, I'm ordering you to be under home confinement. You are not allowed to be released unless you have a GPS monitor on your ankle. Then I'm also on your other ankle, I will put a SCRAM monitor so I know that you're not consuming anything. You are not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. You're not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Okay. We need him to sign the conditions and then after that we'll set him. It looks like the felony is set for, May. Let's do 30 just in case. And then if nothing's happened in the felony, then we can do another 30 after that time. So, okay. Thanks.
Vamos ahorita con nuestra semana.